News.
Hurricane Andrew threatens southern Florida with powerful winds and high tides. More than 1 million people are being ordered to evacuate now. This is the CBS Evening News. Good evening, everyone. I'm Edie Magnus, sitting in tonight for Connie Chung. It may just be the worst hurricane to ever hit a metropolitan area in the U.S. Hurricane Andrew is bearing down on Florida. Edie's packing winds clocked at 150 miles per hour. More than 1 million people have been ordered to evacuate, and the National Guard has been placed on alert. A hurricane warning now extends from Vero Beach to Key West along the Atlantic coast, and from Venice to Flamingo along Florida's west coast. It also includes Lake Okeechobee. We spoke just minutes ago with the director of the National Hurricane Center, Bob Sheets.
Well, it's near Luther Island in the Bahamas. Right here over my shoulder, you can see the eye of the hurricane wobble just by Luther Island. They reported 120 mile per hour winds, and that's on the weak side of the hurricane. On the north side of that hurricane, it has winds of about 150 miles per hour. It looks like now the center will pass inland sometime near dawn in the Miami-Fort Lauderdale area.
And what do you think will be the course of the hurricane?
Well, as it goes across the Florida Peninsula, of course, we're going to have significant damage here in Miami-Fort Lauderdale area, and then continue on to the west coast of Florida, and then out into the Gulf over the next 2 to 3 days. Is
there any chance that it could deviate from that course or diminish in strength?
I think right now we're looking at what we call a Category 4 hurricane on the Saffir-Simpson scale, so that's near the top of the scale. 5 is the strongest, and we're right near that. So I don't think there's going to be a whole lot of change in the intensity. As far as the course is concerned, it seems to be pretty solid, at least through the next 12 to 24 hours.
Bob Sheets, director of the National Hurricane Center, thank you. Many in Florida didn't believe the storm would actually hit land. Now, as Juan Vasquez reports from Miami, they're moving fast and bracing for the worst.
You are ordered to evacuate the area.
Hurricane Andrew is being described as one of the worst storms of the century. Residents are bracing for a deadly, powerful storm, packing winds of more than 150 miles per hour, heading directly for densely populated areas. More than 1 million residents of South Florida have been told to evacuate.
We only have 5 more hours.
Elderly residents were among the first to be taken out of the areas expected to be hit the hardest. Hundreds were wheeled out of nursing homes and taken to shelters. From the mansions of Palm Beach to trendy Miami Beach, 100 miles to the south, residents are securing their homes and heading for safety. Some are taking everything they have.
We'd probably be about 10 feet underwater at this point, and with the wave action coming through, the question is whether the foundation will take the storm surge.
A state of emergency.
Governor Lawton Childs placed the National Guard on alert and ready to move in as soon as Hurricane Andrew passes.
It's critical that everyone follow all evacuation orders and other directions provided by local and state emergency personnel.
But in spite of the warnings and the imminent danger, there were those who decided to ride it out at home.
No, we're not going to evacuate at all. We're going to sit here and man the home site.
At grocery stores, lumber yards, and hardware stores, there was near panic as Floridians prepared to hunker down and await what some officials describe as a killer storm.
It's chaos. It looks like a hurricane in there. Everybody's taking everything and waiting in line, a lot of heated tempers. Everybody's nervous.
As you can see behind me, it's still calm here. The storm hasn't arrived yet, but it won't stay calm for long. Forecasters have been warning for decades that a major hurricane in South Florida could be a potential disaster. And with this very, very powerful storm bearing down upon us now, officials say what you have now is a worst-case scenario. Edie?
Juan Vasquez, thank you. An evacuation order is in effect for people living along the Atlantic coast areas of Broward, Dade, and Monroe counties and in the Florida Keys. Those who cannot leave the area are congregating in emergency shelters. And Giselle Fernandez joins us now from one of them at Coral Park High School in Kendall, Florida. Giselle?
Good evening, Edie. Red Cross officials here are expecting at least 3,000 people to pack this shelter here in West Dade. They've been pouring in faster than they can be counted or registered by the busloads and taxis. They are tourists. A number of them are elderly residents from Miami Beach, uprooted from their retirement homes. Many of them were able to get mattresses here, which were a major concern. However, those that I did speak with say that they're disoriented and somewhat confused, understandably. A lot of families, a lot of children. The children are lighthearted, playing cards, passing the time as kids do, thankfully, here, keeping the mood light. There is no panic as yet. People just want to be safe, and they feel that way here because it's a concrete structure, no windows for glass to shatter, so they're feeling relatively calm. County officials, however, are asking for any assistance with medical care or transportation to try and keep this evacuation process moving smoothly, because they do predict as the night comes and the winds pick up, more and more people, the last holdouts, will be pouring in here relatively quickly. Let me introduce you to some of the people here who are actually living through this and let you hear firsthand what they're going through. Alice Dale is one of the elderly citizens who came from Miami Beach, and
yes, we don't know where we are.
This was your first hurricane, I think you're going to go through,
yes,
is it not?
My first hurricane, first neighborhood of West Dade. We live at the beach 10 years, and we haven't been out of it.
What is your biggest concern?
Windows and the phone lines, the electric going down, and the water.
So it's the aftermath. You feel relatively safe right now?
Yes, we love it, and they're very courteous, and we're trying to make the best of it.
And you said earlier that your only big concern was sitting in that chair all night long. You wish you had a mattress.
Right, and I see a mattress. How'd you get it in here?
Keep your fingers crossed. Thank you, Alice. Good luck. We'll be staying with you here. Let me introduce you to another woman here who's from Kansas City, and you're more used to tornadoes than hurricanes, and you just were passing through Florida. Is that right?
Yes, that's true. We just arrived last Thursday.
Didn't expect this?
No, not at all.
Do you find this more frightening than a tornado?
Yes, of course, because a tornado, it will just go just like that, and a hurricane, I don't know what to expect. I don't know. I just scared, you know. The unknown is what is scaling me here.
Wonderful. I hope that we pass the night safely, as I'm sure everybody here does. Thank you. We will all be here. I wish I could introduce you to more people, Edie. Some mothers with children worried about their safety and their homes, obviously. We will be passing the night here with them all, and we will bring you updates as they warrant. Back to you, Edie.
Giselle Fernandez, thank you very much. Hurricane Andrew is extremely close to becoming what's called a Category 5 storm. That's the worst there is. It can cause catastrophic damage and produce waves of 18 feet or higher. Only 2 Category 5 storms have hit the U.S. since record-keeping began. In 1969, you'll remember Hurricane Camille devastated the Mississippi coast. It killed 256 people and left nearly $4 billion worth of damage. An earlier storm in 1935 hit the Florida Keys and killed 400 people. Still ahead on tonight's CBS Evening News, the controversial strategy that more and more Americans are adopting to deal with the high cost of nursing home care. And professional football tries a new recipe for excellence.
What's popping up that free? Special K waffles from Eggo. Once you see how good fat free can be, whoa, no, you never let go.
No way. It's all mine.
Special K waffles from Eggo.
Eggo Special K waffles. Crisp, delicious, yet every bite fat-free, cholesterol-free, and just 80 calories per waffle. See how good fat-free can be.
Whoa, no, you never let go. Nah. Special K waffles from Eggo.
At Sears Auto Centers, our commitment to your satisfaction has never been stronger. When you buy a Die Hard, we'll give you free emergency jumpstart service. When you buy Bridgestone road handlers, we'll give you free road hazard insurance. When you buy Sears shocks or mufflers, we'll give you a lifetime replacement warranty. And if you're not completely satisfied, we'll give you your money back. Nobody is more committed to your satisfaction than Sears.
I'd like to talk to you about an invisible problem. The invisible bacteria that cause denture odor. Fortunately, antibacterial Effident kills those odor-causing bacteria for clean, fresh dentures.
Antibacterial Effident.
What if you could get the fiber you need for regularity in a crisp, delicious wafer? Well, now you can. Metamucil wafers. All the effectiveness of Metamucil, and it tastes like a cookie. Metamucil wafers.
President Bush took his re-election campaign to Illinois today, making a pitch for the farm vote. As Randall Pinkston reports, he was blasting away again at Bill Clinton and the Democrats in Congress.
Full of fight, President Bush marched into the State Fair in southern Illinois, a traditional Republican stronghold in America's heartland.
I am going to do what Harry Truman did. In this campaign, no, it's not give him hell. They're going to think it's hell when I get through with them. But here's what it is.
Mr. Bush promised at last week's convention to go after congressmen who had opposed his policies. Today, Illinois Democratic Congressman Richard Durbin was the first target.
The congressman from this district voted against us on Desert Storm. He tried to bring legal papers against me. He is against the balanced budget amendment, and I want John Shimkus to replace him in the United States Congress.
The audience of farmers heard precious little about their concerns, nor did they hear any details about the president's proposed across-the-board tax cuts, dubbed by Democrat Bill Clinton as campaign fantasies.
I have a message for Governor Clinton. Americans aren't afraid of cutting spending and lowering taxes. They fear most of all a rubber stamp president that will rubber stamp this spendthrift Congress.
But Mr. Bush's own team admitted there are some gaps in the president's loosely defined proposal to cut taxes and spending.
Clearly, the presidential debates between Bill Clinton and George Bush will get down to specifics.
But Democrats claim that Republicans and George Bush have already had 12 years to prove their tax theories.
He says all we have to do is give wealthy people back a lot of their wealth, and they will invest it in the free enterprise system, and they'll make all the right judgments. We tried that. It didn't work.
There were plans to swear in James Baker as the president's new chief of staff in a private ceremony, but he will be very much under the spotlight as he tries to guide Mr. Bush to victory in a hard-fought campaign. Randall Pinkston, CBS News, the White House.
Meanwhile, Bill Clinton was rolling through the Rust Belt again today, firing back at President Bush. Richard Threlkeld is traveling with the Clinton campaign.
The Clinton campaign used today's bus stop at the Summer Discussion Forum in Chautauqua, New York, to take on George Bush on the question of family values. Clinton challenged the Republicans to stop name-calling and start a contest of ideas about how to save the American family.
The thing that bothers me is that the tone of the family values debate today is too polarized for short-term political purposes and too little imbued with a deep, profound concern for the welfare of the real people whose real lives will be affected by the real decisions of America in this election.
Earlier in Erie, Pennsylvania, Clinton responded to Bush's remarks this weekend that the word God got short shrift in the Democratic Party's platform.
He has basically said that unless you agree with the Republican platform, you don't believe in God and you're not an American.
This bus tour has been accenting both the positive and the negative. The stops at places like last night's Lawrence County Fair, designed to play up the ticket's commitment to middle America, combined with Clinton's often harsh rejoinders to the president's attacks on him.
Old Mr. Bush says Bill Clinton wants to let the government strangle the health care system. It'll have the compassion of the KGB and the competence of the House Post Office. There he is, going out to Walter Reed Hospital all the time, getting his government health care, cussing me because I want you to have the same health care he does.
The Clinton caravan winds up tonight in Buffalo, but resumes later this week in Texas. That's George Bush's home state. Even so, the Democrats think they've got a shot at taking Texas in November. Richard Threlkeld, CBS News, Chautauqua, New York.
Boy, I keep reading about this vitamin in vegetables, beta-carotene.
Me too. In fact, I'm having some right now.
What, vegetables for breakfast?
No.
The latest news is, now there's a brand new way to get some beta-carotene. Whole Grain Total.
Of course.
Total is the only leading cereal that has beta-carotene. Plus 12 other vitamins and minerals.
With this news about beta-carotene, I'm eating Total.
Of course.
Presenting Rice-A-Roni in the resealable canister. Make as little or as much as you want and get that same great taste. So you can serve the whole gang or just part of it.
The San Francisco tree.
Now you don't need a prescription to get prescription strength medicine for itches and rashes. Because now there's Maximum Strength Cord Aid with twice the healing medicine. Maximum Strength Cord Aid. Prescription strength without a prescription.
Oh, great. Just what my stomach needs. Here comes my obnoxious boss.
Hi, Daddy.
Oh, boy.
Better make it Malox. Because for moments like this, nothing Mylanta makes neutralizes as much stomach acid as Extra Strength Malox Plus. So why take anything else?
We were just talking about you.
Nice, I hope.
My mother's here, too.
Great.
Nobody knows your stomach better, so you better make it Malox.
Whether you're pro-right to life or pro-choice, you won't want to miss tonight's 60 Minutes. Never have the battle lines been drawn so clearly.
Health care has been one of the central issues of the presidential campaign, but for many Americans, help from the candidates won't come soon enough. That's the subject of tonight's Sunday cover, as more and more middle-class Americans take a controversial step to cope with the costs of catastrophic illness. Bill Hayes looks successful. He's an engineer with a big company. He has a house and savings. He's also on welfare.
I've worked for the last 25 years. I've never collected a welfare check. I've always paid all of my taxes, and that only seems fair to me, that where I've paid my taxes for 25 years, that now there's a time when we have a need, and it's a need that the laws recognize.
Bill needs welfare to help pay for his wife's nursing home. She has Huntington's disease, and without the government money, Bill says he and his children would be wiped out.
If you just totally financially ruined us, lose our house, lose a car, then what? Where does the government make out then?
I say to them, look, here are the regulations of how you can protect the house, of how you can protect cash. I'm going to tell you how they work. The federal government or the state get mad at me because I tell people how the system works.
Lawyers call the strategy estate planning for Medicaid. They advise their clients to pour cash into their homes, give money to their children, or put it in irrevocable trusts. All this spending down makes middle-class people technically poor enough on paper to qualify for welfare, although they'll lose control over their assets.
When you talk about giving away money to family members or setting up an irrevocable trust, or doing any one of the other techniques that are available, you're telling people to take very extreme steps.
Steps which anger critics who say welfare should be reserved for those who truly need it.
These elder law attorneys are dealing with people with $100,000 to $600,000 in liquid assets plus a home of any value. These are the people that they're sheltering onto Medicaid.
Let me suggest to you, the same people who criticize me would be the first person to break my door down if it was their mother or their parents' house, because you know what they'd say? My parents worked a lifetime. They're not tax cheats, and neither are the people who come in and see me.
Beverly Newton played it straight. She did not plan to get onto Medicaid. When her husband got Alzheimer's disease, she was wiped out.
We thought were really prepared for retirement, and really, after raising 5 children, we were really looking forward to it. And just in an instant, it was all gone.
Now welfare pays for her husband's nursing home just like it does for Bill Hayes' wife. But Beverly is broke and heartbroken.
I felt that if you work all your life and you save for retirement, you have earned your money, you have saved your money, that you should have it for your retirement. You shouldn't have to worry about, gee, am I going to end up on welfare, or my kid's going to have to take care of me, or what's going to happen. You shouldn't have to do that.
Lawmakers in Ohio are angry at estate planners who tell their clients how to manipulate their money to get on welfare. In fact, they have introduced legislation that would take away the license of any lawyer or accountant who gives that advice.
Draw from the facts. There's a way to maintain regularity without drugs. It starts here. A high-fiber diet, which can include Kellogg's All Bran, may give you the fiber you need for drug-free regularity. See the recipe on the box for another way to enjoy Kellogg's All Bran. All Bran muffins. All that fiber, all that great taste.
It begins at dawn. They've come for you. And they want what you have. It's your bed, your Serta Perfect Sleeper, but it's the most comfortable spot in the house. The Serta surface and support only Serta builds in makes it that way. So if it gets a little late for breakfast, there's always brunch. Is it any wonder people are saying, I want my Serta?
The makers of Dimetap know it's important for allergy and cold sufferers to trust their medication. Doctors and pharmacists have trusted the Dimetap brand for safe, effective relief for 30 years. You can trust Dimetap Extend tabs for 12 hours of allergy relief. And if you're concerned about drowsiness, Dimetap contains one of the least sedating, non-prescription antihistamines. Trust Dimetap, the #1 doctor-recommended antihistamine decongestant non-prescription formula.
At least 20 more people were killed this weekend in Sarajevo as all sides used shells and bullets to maneuver for Wednesday's peace talks in London. Martha Teichner reports.
Preparation for peace talks Sarajevo style today. For the last 3 days, Bosnia's capital has suffered its worst bombardment in weeks. A deadly effort by all sides to gain ground before negotiations begin.
If the other side is willing, there will be peace. Because I'm going with undetermined will to make a peace in Yugoslavia.
In Sarajevo's undersupplied, overtaxed hospitals, victims of today's shelling became victims of Bosnia's humanitarian crisis as well. It is this picture of a people under siege that Bosnia's Muslim leader believes compels Western airstrikes.
We don't ask for troops in Bosnia and Herzegovina. We ask the aviation protection, the aviation help.
Before Sarajevo's airport was closed again today, aid planes had to fly through mortar fire in order to land. The Serbs believe that by helping the Muslims, the West is only prolonging the war, not putting an end to it. The message the Serbs take to London: the West should pressure the Muslims into making a deal, now. The Serbs would like nothing better than to declare peace. They already control 2/3 of Bosnia, and peace for them means they've won. Martha Teichner, CBS News, Belgrade.
Food airlifted by U.S. cargo planes began today to reach Somalian victims of mass famine. To receive the food, thousands of refugees are traveling by foot and truck to a camp on the Somali-Kenyan border. Starting this week, U.S. relief planes are to fly directly into Somalia. The White House says President Bush could announce the new Allied no-fly zone for southern Iraq as early as Tuesday. The Allies would shoot down any Iraqi warplanes trying to attack Shiite Muslim dissidents in the area. Tom Fenton went to the zone on a chaperoned visit. Here's his report.
As the deadline for the ban approaches, Saddam Hussein is anxious to show that he still controls the South. These demonstrations were carefully orchestrated for foreign newsmen who were given a 2-day government tour of southern Iraq. Iraqi TV filmed Western newsmen filming the demonstrations and then showed lengthy extracts on its evening news. The picture the regime wants to show is happy Arabs 100% behind their leader. The reality in southern Iraq is somewhat different. In this village on the edge of the vast marshes, demonstrators were bussed in, but while they were shouting, reporters could hear the distant sound of artillery and small arms fire deep inside the marshes.
These are the people that the West abandoned after the war. When the Shiites of the South rebelled against Saddam Hussein, the United States allowed the Iraqi army to crush the revolt. Now, the West seems to have had a change of mind.
Local Arabs spoke quietly to us about the resistance that is still being waged in the marshes. Their village is next to an army camp and closely watched by Saddam's troops. The main population centers are tightly controlled by the regime, but southern Iraq is a huge area, and Saddam Hussein's authority does not extend into the more inaccessible reaches of the marshes. These are the areas that the West is now hoping to make a safe haven to shield the marsh Arabs from Iraqi warplanes and to protect an ancient way of life. Tom Fenton, CBS News, in the marshes of southern Iraq.
Britain's Duchess of York appeared in public today for the first time since the latest royal scandal broke. The former Sarah Ferguson and her children flew back to London from Scotland. Photos last week showed Prince Andrew's wife topless, kissing a Texas millionaire at poolside in France.
never seen nothing like it. I mean, Rusty Slade was an ornery sort. Always ate his old bran flakes just for fiber. But one morning, I gave him Kellogg's new complete bran flakes. Weren't the same. More than fiber, they had whole grain wheat. Flakes were new too, crispy, crunchy. Why, that Kellogg's complete bran flakes even had a better nutty taste. It was all so good, made Rusty smile. Almost. New Kellogg's complete bran flakes. Fiber and then some.
Of all the things around your house that need batteries, there's one thing that needs a good, fresh battery most of all. See your Allstate agent for a free home fire safety brochure. And please, check the battery in your smoke detector often.
I'd like to talk to you about an invisible problem. The invisible bacteria that cause denture odor. Fortunately, antibacterial Effident kills those odor-causing bacteria for clean, fresh dentures.
Antibacterial Effident.
This is your time. Time for the good taste of Smucker's Apricot Preserves. And jams are naturally fat-free and less than 20 calories. So few calories and so good. With a name like Smucker's, it has to be good.
Fall means football, and the Washington Redskins will do anything to win the Super Bowl again this season. Jim Stewart scouted out the Redskins training camp and found their menu for success.
Salads, fruit, cottage cheese. Looks at first like the sort of spread you might find at a convention of vegetarians. Healthy, but, well, sort of plain and wimpy.
That's a wholesome meal right there. Great for the heart.
But wimps they're not. Being heart smart, the great American obsession with cholesterol has come to the NFL. The world champion Washington Redskins, the New York Jets, and Denver Broncos, among others, have new eating habits at training camp this summer. Nutritionist Nick Stamos prepares the Redskins menu.
We've reduced the number of amounts of red meat that we're serving. More and more fresh seafood, more and more fresh poultry, more fresh fruits, more fresh vegetables.
Dinner with any professional football team used to be a cattleman's dream come true.
Oh, yeah, in the earlier days, you could get as much steak, as much filet mignon, as much red meat as you could possibly eat.
Now the menu's got some players wondering, where's the beef?
Somebody was kidding the other day saying, I think somebody's in the back saying how many different ways they can prepare chicken for us. But it's good, though.
No matter what they eat, though, football players need a lot of it. You and I might go through 1,500 calories a day. These fellows can go through 4,000. That's why before every game, the Redskins bulk up, throw out the calorie counters, and tuck in a gut-buster of a meal. What's the pregame meal?
Basically, potatoes, little steak, eggs, bacon, toast, pasta, just a mixture and a variety.
In the old NFL, every meal was like that, and the physique showed it.
Now it's totally different. You need to be slim, you need to be heavy, but you need to be built up on the weights opposed to just being obese.
Because not only their health, but their jobs depend on it.
And fat guys don't make it up here. You know, well-conditioned big guys do make it.
Reactions to the new chow have been positive so far. Proof that a 300-pound lineman can eat light and still be lively. Jim Stewart, CBS News, Carlisle, Pennsylvania.
We'll see how they do. Recapping our top story now, Hurricane Andrew, a very violent storm, is bearing down on Florida tonight. Andrew's winds are clocked at up to 150 miles per hour. The storm is expected to hit the Florida coast sometime after 6 o'clock tomorrow morning. Hurricane warnings are in effect for much of southern Florida, and more than 1 million people have been ordered to evacuate. Stay with CBS News for complete coverage of Hurricane Andrew. I'm Edie Magnus in New York. I'll see you again later on the CBS Sunday Night News. Good night.
Experience CBS News.
This is CBS.
Coming up, tens of thousands of southern Florida residents take flight as Hurricane Andrew moves in. Those who plan to stay are stocking up and digging in. Merchants say there's little left of emergency supplies.
2 Newark teenagers are killed by off-duty police officers. Family members call it an unjustified shooting. And the Transit Authority identifies subway danger zones where fatal accidents like this one could happen again. I'm Reggie Harris.
And I'm Lisa Rudolph. Channel 2 News Sunday is next.
My fellow citizens,